Alright, so we got our door working in the last video. We set up a custom door track float, and we've got these public variables. I showed you how to do that, which is extremely powerful and really lessens the difficulty and kind of the heavy lifting of your workload when working with Blueprint and designing cool gameplay stuff. Okay, so I could technically say this tutorial is over. We got the door working. When you walk up to the door, it opens. When you walk away, it closes, and that's pretty much all it is. But I want to kind of spruce things up a little bit. If I look at this guy and I play this, the door is not very exciting. Alright, I want to change a few things up. So the first thing I want to do is I would love to have, if we look at this, it would be pretty cool to have maybe the door kind of like, when you go to open it, there's like a pause and the door is like getting ready to open, and there's a cool steam effect. Like maybe you get some steam, like it just kind of fires in from the frame of the door to look like it's an airlock or something like that that's opening, and that'd be pretty cool. So the way we would do steam with Unreal 4 is through a particle system. So in this video I'm going to start to show you how we can add a particle system to this door and how we can control its, basically turn it on and off when we want it to. So we'll have it turn on when the door opens, or when the door is getting ready to open, and then it'll turn off a little moment afterwards, because we don't want the steam to keep going as the player goes through the door. Although that can be pretty cool, like in the movie Alien. That was really cool how to use steam and stuff around the ship. Love that movie. Okay, so anyway, let's see how we can do that. Well, we don't have any particle systems or particle effects tied in with this blueprint right now. All we have is a, if I go to components, we've got ourselves a door frame, the door frame, we've got the door, and we've got the trigger. So we've got 3 components to this blueprint. We're missing a 4th, a particle system. So let's do that. Let's go to the content browser real quick and let's see if we have a particle system that we can use. So if I go to the particles folder, there's actually quite a few different particles here. And what I could do is I go up to my filters and I could filter out just particle system, and now we're just looking at particle systems. So we've got something here called smoke, there's sparks, that could be pretty cool, sparks, there's fire, explosion, and then there's steam. That's pretty cool. Now if you're wondering where I got these particle effects, I actually got them when I created a new template, and let me show you that real quick. If I go to File, go to New Project, I'm going to get the New Project template browser, and remember I showed you this in a previous video. If I go to say the Blueprint first person or whatever template you want to use, you'll notice there's an option down here in the lower left called Include Starter Content. Now it's usually on by default. What I did was I created a new Blueprint first person template project, and I made sure that the starter content was checked on. And when you create a new project like that, you're going to get, if you go to the content browser, you're going to get all of these, you should get all of these particle effects and particle systems with the project. So I didn't create this particle system from scratch. I've done that before, but for this tutorial I just wanted to get some example content to get up and running as quickly as possible. I didn't want to sit here a whole weekend creating new particle systems for this tutorial. So I actually went in here, I opened this up in Cascade. Now this isn't a Cascade tutorial, so this is outside the scope of what I'm showing you, but basically it's a simple steam effect. I edited it, I changed it up a little bit so that we can have it sort of start off small and have the steam start up. And you can see that looks pretty cool. So this effect, this particle system, is going to work out just fine for what we need. So I'll make sure that in the content browser the particle system is selected. I'll jump back into Blueprint, make sure that you're in the components mode, and I'm going to go up to Add Component, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get, there should be a particle system around here that we can use. So here it is, particle system, P Steam Lit. I'm going to click on that, and that's going to create a particle system. Now I'm going to rename it before I do anything else. So I'm just going to call this Steam. We know what that is. And that's it. I could go to the category here and stick it maybe under door stuff, but it'd be cool to have a category just for effects. If this were a more complicated blueprint for an actual real project or product, you'd probably have a ton of different effects. You might have sparks, electricity, lights. You may have steam and smoke, maybe fire, all kinds of cool stuff. So all that stuff is effects. It would probably go under the effects category. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. Now if I go down to the details panel with the steam selected, I can see there's a whole bunch of parameters, but there's some parameters here. The particles parameter area here is pretty important because we got some particle parameters and stuff. And then another one that's pretty important is all the way down here. This activation, auto activate. By default it's turned on. What that means is that the particle system will be on at all times and stuff. So I can actually select this particle system and I can move it. I can move it around and place it wherever it is that I need to place it. Okay? Now, you can see the particle system emit inside of here. If you're not seeing that, it probably means that real time is turned off. And I just had it off a moment ago. So if you go up to View, you'll see you have real time up here. Control R is a shortcut, just like with all other Unreal editors. Just go ahead and click that, and that's going to make the particles start to emit. So we got this cool steam, right? That's pretty neat. So I'm going to take this steam, and I'm probably going to place it a little bit toward the middle of the door right there. That'll be pretty cool. And I might just go ahead and rotate it about negative 90 degrees like this so that it kind of shoots downward from the top. Because what I want is for the steam to come off of the top of the door frame right there. I think that'll be pretty cool. And I'm probably going to move it a little bit like this. It's not going to show up in the back, but maybe I'll leave it in the middle. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter as long as we see that the steam is there. So pretty cool. So the steam is there. Pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. So now we have a particle effect tied in with this blueprint, which is really, really cool. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to compile this real quick and save it. Now we have a particle system. Alright, fantastic. Let's jump into the level, let's play, and let's see what we've got. I'm not going to walk up to the door just yet. I'm kind of just looking at the door. You can see that there's particles. So the steam's being emitted right now. If I walk up to the door, it opens and the steam is there. Okay, I'm going to stop that. So remember, we have to explain everything to Unreal in baby steps and tell it exactly, it's step by step, what we want it to do. So right now, we've given this door a particle system. The particle system by default is set up to emit steam all the time. So when the game starts, the particle system automatically switches on, it activates by itself, auto activates, and it starts to spew particles into our level, and it does not stop. It keeps going forever. That's not what we want. We would like for the particle system to only turn on when the door is open, or when the door is about to open, when a door goes to opening state. After it turns on, it should emit particles or some steam for a few seconds while the door starts to open. After the door is, halfway through opening, or maybe it's fully open, then the steam should stop. So it should be kind of like steam starts to shoot out, door slowly opens, it opens up, the steam stops, and then you walk through, and then the door closes. And then if you were to come back to this door, 10 minutes later, again, you get some steam, the door slowly opens, steam stops, you walk through. That would be pretty cool. So we've got a few different steps there. We need to tell Unreal first, do not emit the particles when we start the game. Then, emit particles only when the door is opening. Then, we have to tell Unreal, shut the particles off after the door has opened, or a few seconds after the door starts to open. Okay? And then, of course, turn the particles back on for a little while if the door gets triggered again by the player and the door opens, in case the player changes their mind or they backtrack to this door or anything like that. So we've got a few instructions we have to give to Unreal in order to make that happen. And we're going to do that over here in the graph. Okay? This video is run for about 10 minutes already. I'm going to end it here, and in the next one we'll go ahead and start hammering away at this.